All right, let's talk about some important rules. I've already gone over a few, so the beginning few minutes of this will be like a review for you, and then I'm going to introduce some other stuff that's important, and there's a section in section 6.1 of your text. There's a little box there that you really got to pay attention to, okay? All right, some important rules. Remember, if means the proposition is a conditional. So if you see if, you know you're dealing with the horseshoe operator, right? That's your main operator. And you know if you see if, the antecedent follows. And here are synonyms for if. You may not see if, but if you see in case, given that, provided that, on condition that, that shouldn't be there, a little typo there. These are synonyms for if. So if you see a sentence with given that, go ahead and cross it out, put if, and then you'll know what followed given that, the antecedent. And if you see given that, oh, this is the main operator is a horseshoe, I'm going to be dealing with that. Only if means the proposition is a conditional as well. Go ahead and write down that horseshoe operator, the consequent follows. Okay, if you do see the word implies, this can be translated, then this is implied, and the consequent follows. Okay, so implies means a conditional. Go ahead and write down the horseshoe, and implies is the same as then this implies. If the antecedent, then, so that's why it's the consequent. Okay? It's the synonym is then this is implied. So anytime you hear then this, it's coming after the horseshoe. All right, now this section here I want you to pay attention to, okay? And in your textbook, there's an important section, depending on, it's in section 6.1. If you go to the part in your book where it's passed by conditionals, and there's a box that says, do not confuse these three statement forms, then past that, it's actually right before the section kind of ends, you're going to see a box that says, notice the function of either and both. This is very important. It's going to save you a lot of grief. And you know what? You see this little section here? If you can handle this stuff, I'm really done with sharing you some rules you've got to pay attention to, and you're going to be in pretty good shape, okay? So look at your notes here. If you see not either or not either, and you've got to realize if you have not either, okay, or not either, however you want to pronounce it, if you squish these two together, right, if you squish not either, then you get neither, don't you? So if you see neither, it is the same as not either. Not either is neither squished together. Neither is, it would be equal to not either taken apart. So if you see not either or neither, and you got to remember with neither, there's always going to be a nor hanging around. Don't sweat the nor. Just not either is like neither nor, okay? So if you see not either or either, same as neither nor. If you see not both, if you see it is not the case that, it is not the case that is the same as like not. Okay, it's a long way of saying not both. It is not the case that both. If you see these, I want you to do this. Write a tilde and then parentheses. So when I'm translating, if I see not either, not both, it is not the case both or neither, trust the logicians. I want you to do this as a very rote, robotic thing. Oh, Dave and the book says write a tilde and a parentheses. And when you write that, then the rest of the sentence you just write in the parentheses. So when I give you some examples, we'll talk about that, okay? All right. So not either, not both. It is not the case that both. Tilde, parentheses. You do not need parentheses. If you just see both or either or, you realize it's not both. It isn't not either. If it's just plain both or just plain either or, and remember with either there's going to be a dangling or, don't worry about that. With neither there's going to be a dangling nor. But here, both and either or isn't not both and isn't not either. So both or either, you don't need the tilde parentheses. But if you see these, you've got to write that down. Okay, so with that, let's start doing some examples, okay, for a little bit, and then we'll do part 3, we'll do more. Okay, so here's some examples, and let's start. Well, you know what, I'll tell you what. Before we go through these examples, let's go back up here and talk about this neither nor a little bit. I want to go to that box in your, let me extend this page. Okay, so we'll get to the examples in a minute. If you have something like this, not either, and this is the box at the end of 6.1 titled Notice the Function of Either and Both, I'm going to talk about these. So if you have not either A or B, okay? You remember what I told you? If you see not either, then you do this, tilde, parentheses, and then what you do is ignore the not either, and in the parentheses just goes A or B. And if you had A or B all by itself, you would go A, wedge, B. So the fact that I saw the not either, Dave said, the book says, write down tilde parentheses. And then you almost could do this. Cover up your thumb, you know, it's almost like you could cover up not either, and then all you have left is A or B. Write either A or B inside the parentheses, okay? What if you had this? Either not A or not B. Okay, now this isn't not either, and remember either, there's the dangling or, don't worry about it. Either not A or not B is not either, so no parentheses, no tilde parentheses is needed. This is saying either not A or not B. Okay, no parentheses are needed because it isn't a not either, it isn't a neither. Okay, here's another example. Not, and this is in your text in 6.1, not both A and B, right? Okay, I see a not both. So the book and Dave says tilde, parentheses, trust the rule, forget about the not both, and what do you have left? You have both A and B. So that's just A dot B. Okay, and we got one more in that box in your textbook. What if you have both not A and not B? Okay, it isn't not both, so there's no parentheses. It just says both not A and not B. So tilde, not A and not B. Okay, so that hopefully helps there. That's in your textbook. Make sure you understand that. And you know what? Why don't we go up, because there is this this part up here. Right here, there's another box that's pretty helpful. You realize if you have A, if B, the antecedent follows B, this would be B horseshoe A, okay? That's what that means. Okay, what if you had A only if B? That means A horseshoe B, because this is only if and the consequent follows only if. But notice, if you see if, go ahead and write down that horseshoe. You see only if, you go ahead and draw down that horseshoe. And then we have another one here. A, if and only if B, and we'll come around here. This just means A triple bar B, okay, and that's in 612. So don't get confused with that. Hopefully that helps you with the rules with if, only if, and the ones that I did down here, that these help you with the rules for not either, not both. It is not the case both or neither nor, as compared to both and either or. Okay, I'll tell you what, we'll stop here and we'll go to part 3 and start doing the examples of translation. Okay?